Harvey Weinstein, the brash outsider from Queens who upended Hollywood, has always liked to think of himself as an underdog. So there may have been no prouder moment for him than the night of March 21, 1999, when he stood on the stage at the Academy Awards accepting the Best Picture Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, which had won in a stunning upset over Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. As his fellow producer Donna Gigliotti thanked him for having the guts, the courage, the commitment to make this picture, Weinstein beamed, soaking in the cheers from the crowd. He was at the peak of his power. Running Miramax with his brother Bob, he could turn art house fare into mainstream hits, mint award nominations at an unprecedented clip and make or break careers. A 2015 survey of nearly 1,400 Oscar acceptance speeches by the website Vocative found that Weinstein was thanked more frequently than God. Yet some of the applause that night came from people who secretly, or not so secretly, rooted against him. Many in Hollywood felt the victory for Shakespeare in Love was as much a credit to Weinstein's costly, unbitterly fought Oscar campaign as to the film's merits. And some just found him generally loathsome. Weinstein was, and is, as famous for his temper as for his taste. He would regularly reduce people to tears with his blistering, belittling tantrums, unleashing torrents of profanity-laced verbal abuse, and the occasional ashtray or headlock, on whatever unlucky soul became the target of his wrath. His reputation for recutting directors' movies was so firmly established, it earned him the nickname Harvey Scissorhands. And, according to a bombshell report in the New York Times last week, he sexually harassed a series of women, including film stars and employees. Even so, Weinstein reigned for years as one of the most powerful men in Hollywood, inspiring loyalty as well as fear as he changed the movie business in ways good and bad. With films such as Pulp Fiction he pumped up American independent cinema, while his all-out Oscar campaigns turned awards season into an often nasty and increasingly expensive public brawl. Love him or hate him, he was a man you wanted on your side. Now, in the wake of the New York Times report, which detailed decades of sexual harassment accusations and payouts, Weinstein is finding that few in Hollywood want to be on his side. Weinstein's influence had already begun to dim considerably in recent years. The Weinstein Company has faced significant financial challenges, and new, deeper-pocketed competitors, including Amazon Studios, A24, Netflix and Fox Searchlight, have stolen the awards season spotlight. As soon as the story broke last week, Weinstein issued a statement of apology, took a leave of absence from his company, and then threatened to sue the New York Times. No one publicly came to his defense. Instead, some in Hollywood admitted they were unsurprised by the stories of Weinstein's treatment of women, saying they had long been an open secret. The only thing I'm surprised about, one former Miramax executive who worked closely with Weinstein told the Los Angeles Times, is how long it took. Weinstein has long embodied both Hollywood's highest aspirations and its worst impulses, which may explain in part why the allegations against him have had such deep reverberations throughout the industry. If I didn't exist, they'd have to invent me, Weinstein once said. I'm the only interesting thing around. From the outset of his career, Weinstein cultivated the persona of a Damon Runyon-esque hustler and relentless climber, an updated edition of an old-school studio mogul. He was a walking contradiction, by turns charming and bullying, his basest appetites, for food, cigarettes, combat and apparently sexual conquest, matched by his hunger for cinematic glory. As then Times columnist Patrick Goldstein wrote in 2007, Weinstein was the crazy, spittle-spewing, chain-smoking hustler who would bellow insults, twist arms and shamelessly hype whatever movie was due that week. The man who turned little-known indie directors into rock stars, and, in the process, became one himself, began his career, fittingly enough, as a rock promoter. The Weinstein brothers were 20-something concert promoters, when in 1979 they started Miramax Film Corporation, naming the company after their parents, Miriam and Max. A passionate film lover, Weinstein liked to recount the story of how he had seen Francois Truffaut's The 400 Blows at age 14, thinking it at first to be a sex film, and had his life instantly changed. In 1989, The Weinsteins shot to prominence when they bought the rights to release Steven Soderbergh's Sex, Lies, and videotape not long after the film won the Audience Award at the Sundance Film Festival. The event was not just a seismic moment for Miramax, Soderbergh and Sundance, it set the stage for the commercial boom for independent film in the 1990s. From there, Miramax,